Hi, welcome along to ArsenalFanTV. Now, I guess we're all getting over the excitement of beating Chelsea at home on Saturday. What a wonderful performance it was by Arsenal. The Emirates was absolutely buzzing. Fans have been buzzing ever since. There's so much optimism around the place at the moment, which is fantastic because we've had so long where it's been a lot of doom and gloom. Are we going to sign this guy? Wenger in, Wenger out. It was just great to get a fantastic victory, emphatic victory over Chelsea. And now we face our next game, which is FC Basel at home in the Champions League. And this is another big game. Now, we got a draw in our first game away to PSG, and that was a very good point. Even though at the time, you know, we rode our luck a lot in that game and David Ospina pulled off some fantastic saves to keep us in it. But we got a point away from home at PSG, which is the hardest game in the group, and that sets us in good stead. Now, if we can win all of our home games, that would give us like 10 points and we'd be qualified for the next round. Now, the first task is FC Basel. Now, I'm hoping that Arsenal are going to carry a lot of that enthusiasm from Saturday and drive through into this game. And if we do that, then we could come away winners. If we go back to the slow pedestrian Arsenal, FC Basel is a team that can put us in problems. It's the first ever meeting of Arsenal and FC Basel, so it's going to be a really interesting matchup. But first of all, what I want to do is just take a look at Basel. Who are FC Basel? Well, they're the champions of Switzerland. They've got a very, very good record against English teams. Previously, they've beaten Manchester United, they've beaten Chelsea, they've beaten Liverpool. In their league at the moment, they've played 9 games and they've won all 9 games, so unbeaten in their league. However, in their first Champions League game against Ludogorets of Bulgaria, they were surprisingly held to a draw at home. Now, most people had that down as a sort of must-win game for Basel. It's quite an intimidating place to go to their stadium because their fans really get behind them. And everybody sort of thought, yeah, they'll sort out Ludogorets. Well, Ludogorets went into the lead and Basel managed to get a point in the end. So Basel are up against it. They really need to come and try and get a win at the Emirates, or at least a draw. And as I said, they'll be confident because they've started off their season very well and they've got a very good record against English teams. However, looking deeper into their record in the Champions League, it's not that great recently. They're winless in their last 5 Champions League games. They've drawn 3 of them and they've lost 2 of them, scoring only 3 goals in those 5 games. So again, that's something that can fill us with a lot of optimism going into that game. In fact, that they're not big scorers, but as I said, they have had previous wins over Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, so they are a team to be watched. Another thing that's going to be really interesting about this game is that it could see the 2 Xhaka brothers coming up against each other. Granit Xhaka, of course, for Arsenal, and Torin Xhaka, who plays for Basel. Now, they played against each other in the Euros when Switzerland played Albania. And, you know, that was a really interesting matchup. They're both midfielders. Torin's the elder brother and more plays as a holding midfielder. Granit Xhaka's more box-to-box. Although if he does play tomorrow, he could be in that holding position. But it's going to be really interesting to see those 2 coming up against each other. And it's going to be a really, really interesting matchup between the 2 brothers. And I'm sure their parents will be watching on. I was reading where Torin said that the parents will probably want Basel to win because they did grow up in Basel in Switzerland. So they probably will be slightly preferring Basel to win, but it's going to be really, really interesting. Now let's take a look at Arsenal. How have Arsenal been getting on? Well, so far, not too bad. In the league, we've played 6 games, lost 1, drawn 1, won 4 games. And we've won our last 4 games in the league, including that massive win over Chelsea at the weekend. Just like Basel, we drew our previous game in the Champions League, which of course was away to PSG. And Arsenal at the moment will be going into that game full of confidence. I think the only thing really is what's the lineup going to be? And with the Champions League, you really don't know what Arsene Wenger's going to do. Who's he going to go for? We know that Coquelin, it looks like he's going to be out. The prognosis on that is that he's probably going to be out until after the international break. It shouldn't be too long, so that's not too bad. But we're going to have to shuffle it around in midfield. Now, who will Arsene Wenger go for? I presume that he's going to go for, my thinking on it is that he's going to go for more or less the same team that played against Chelsea, which of course, is our strongest team. But who's he going to play in that midfield holding position now that Coquelin's injured? Now, he's got a choice. He could go for Granit Xhaka, of course, who came in on Saturday and had a very decent performance. Of course, Xhaka as well scored a couple of goals recently for Arsenal, those long-range shots. And, of course, as I said, he'd be up against his brother. He may also, though, go for Mohamed El Neni. He wasn't even in the squad on Saturday, probably rested for this game. Now, El Neni, remember, used to play for Basel, so he'll know all about Basel. He's very good in that midfield area, in that holding position. And I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Arsene Wenger opt for El Neni in that holding position over Xhaka. It wouldn't surprise me. The other intriguing one is in goal. Who does he go for in goal? Does he start again with Ospina, who was absolutely outstanding in the last game against PSG? Or does he stick with Petr Cech, who again played very well on Saturday? Who does he go for? I think he'll go Ospina. I think he's going to keep, he's a very loyal guy, Arsene Wenger, and I think he's going to keep that loyalty going. And how do you drop Ospina after that last performance in the Champions League? I know a lot of people won't be in agreement with that, but I think it will be Ospina in goal. But I'm going to go for Arsenal winning this game by 2-0. I think the confidence is brimming with Arsenal at the moment. 4 wins on the trot. They're scoring lots of goals. The confidence is there. I really do think that they're going to come flying out of the traps against Basel and get the job done in the first half. What do you guys think? Leave your predictions in the comments below, and also leave what you think the lineup should be. And don't forget to subscribe here to ArsenalFanTV.